Hello to all my networking friends. Well, friends, in the series of networking videos on networking, today we have reached a stage where don'ts. We'll be discussing about the don'ts which we have already done in the previous video. Today we'll be elaborately speaking about the first don't. Now before I move on, I want to ask you people one simple question. How many of you out there believe that when you are going on to a networking event, you should close down on sales? Beautiful. Thank you so much. Please put your hands down. Let me tell you, before I proceed further, my name is Rajendra Jain, business coach, motivational speaker, and today's video is all about selling and networking. We are going to break a lot of myths regarding this selling and networking, the confusion which people have. Now, first mantra of not doing something, first don't do is do not sell by networking. I often go to networking events and what I see there is people pitching in for their products. Please buy it, I am doing this, I am doing this. What you need to understand is the difference between selling and networking. Please understand, networking is not selling. Networking is about connecting with people for a purpose. The purpose could be social purpose or it could be commercial purpose. And for our understanding, for this video's purpose, we are predominantly going to talk about connecting with people for commercial purposes. Please understand, when you are connecting with people, you are not connecting to sell your product or service to them. You are connecting with the people to get into their network of people, to get into their influential circle. That's very important. And often what we misunderstand is, if I am able to sell my product or service to that person, that means good networking. What you need to understand is, networking is actually like trying to find a gold mine. It's about exploring. And sales is like going to one place where you know there is something happening and you closing out on it. Networking is you don't know whether that exists or not. You are trying to find out possibilities. Of course, we do our homework in terms of where all that possibilities are. Like, when you go in search of, when petroleum exploration happens, when people go in search of petroleum, they do their homework in terms of geographical studies, in terms of understanding the regions where possibilities of petrol is there. Similarly, we do, a kind of backward or homework, back-end check as to who are the possibility network partners of mine. That's very important. And once you find it, your objective as a networker is to get into his network or get him or her to connect you to his or her network of people. Now, they could be his relatives or her relatives. They could be their, groups which they belong to. It could be their own office, their own organization. It could be the groups which they identify themselves with. It could be the community which they belong to. Now, what you need to understand is, it's like exploring. The keyword here, what's the keyword? Exploring. So, they may not be close-up sales. So don't get disheartened that I have not been able to close sales, because networking is not selling. Did you get it? It is not selling. Please understand something. Networking is about building relationships. Yes, commercial networking is also about building relationships. When you have rapport with people, when I say building relationship, it's about creating a goodwill with that person. It's about having a connect with that person. Yeah, and we learned how to have connect with the person in the 5 golden rules of networking. If you have not, my suggestion to you is go and have a look at that video because that's very important. Anyways, moving forward, a relationship. It's like connecting a pipeline. It's like opening a tap where there is a constant flow of referrals, where there is constant flow of business coming from that person. Now what is important here is to connect with that source. Networking, if I may take this liberty of defining, it's one more, if I have to define it in some other way, it is like getting connected to the source of referrals, your referral. Now, it is not selling to that person, the person may or may not buy, but if the person doesn't open up with their network, then it's not called proper networking. Objective has to be clear. Now please understand, the third point which I want to tell you is, look out, first homework needs to be done. Majority of the time what we do is, we do not do our homework correctly. For a photographer, if you are into photography, if you want to have a networking, it is not the actors. If you are shooting portfolios, it is not the actors. It is not your end clients, which is your networking circle. Your networking circle would be your camera stores, where people go to buy because they may want to learn how to handle the camera. Your connect would be wedding planners, event managers, because those are the people, they will get connection to those, they have connection to those people who require your services. Your connect, if you are into portfolio, then your connect will be model people, model coordinators, because whoever wants to become model are those people who go to such coordinators. Am I making sense? Thank you. What is important is for you to understand, for you to define this cycle, this circle of people who would be your networking partners. If you are into, say, painting, if you are into the business of painting, your networking is not, your networking partners are not those house owners who require painting. They are your end customers. Networking partners, remember, are those people who will connect you as a resource person to the end users. And that is when it's very important for you to understand, as a painting contractor or as a person who is into painting, for you, those paint dealers are your big referral partners. For you, architects are your big referral partners. Interior designers are your big referral partners. Even let me tell you, project management consultant, PMC, including in the field of education, are your referral partners. Are you getting it? Now for you, let me tell you what is important is to identify your circle of reference. And that is why I tell you, if you stop selling to people, that is when you will ask people about them, saying what business are they into, and that is when you will be able to somewhere match with your homework what you have done as to, is this a good connecting partner for me? And let me tell you friends, if you are able to do your homework properly, and for that you don't have to sell in networking groups. I'm not telling you should not sell. I'm very precisely saying, when you go to networking events, when you go to a networking group, do not sell to those people, because if you sell, then your frame of mind goes completely in a different direction. And if you are selling, the person who's listening to you also goes into mode of, do I want it, I don't want it. But if you go with the intent of asking them for referrals and knowing more about them, and then probably try to mix and match as to where all they could be of help, and let me tell you, that is where your success ratio will be much higher. let us recapitulate. Networking is not selling. Very, very clear. 2. Do not sell in networking groups. Ask for referral partners or search for referral partners. Third and very important point, my dear friends, please understand networking is like exploring. So you will not get networking partners on a daily basis. In a day you will get 3, 4, 5, you will not get. But when you get it, what you need to do is harness that flow from the tap. That's very important. Well, if you have liked this video, make sure you like our video, like button, share it to your friends who are into business, and of course leave a comment below the video. Until next we come back, thank you so much. Rajendra Jain signing off.